Mistakes were made, it's fine. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Megan and today I have a bit of a different video for you. Most of my videos are me collecting and bringing books in, so today's video is actually a collection of all the books I'm unhauling from my bookshelves. You might be able to tell, but I went through all of my shelves and did some spring cleaning, if you will, on them, and they look so much better. And these are all the books that I am unhauling. I've got some books that I've read and just don't ever see myself rereading. I've got books that I don't see myself ever reading in the first place. I've got duplicates that I'm willing to let go. I don't even want to try to count how many books there are here. Probably over 50 books to unhaul, so let's get into it. I'm gonna start with the books that I've already read and I'm unhauling because I don't see myself ever rereading it. And we're gonna start off with a doozy. I think this one's gonna surprise a lot of people. Well, if you've watched my channel, this won't be a surprise to you, but it is a very popular series. And this is a very popular edition. I'm unhauling the Fairy Loot and Ember in the Ashes series. I read the first book in Ember in the Ashes and adored it. It was like one of my favorite books of the year, and I was so convinced that this was going to be one of my favorite series. However, from book 2 on, I was just not into it. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I wasn't enjoying it, but from book 2 through 4, it wasn't my favorite series anymore, and it just kind of went downhill from book 1, honestly. So I know these are a very coveted set, so I will be unhauling these and they will be going to someone who will appreciate them much more than I. I'm so sorry. You probably went on such a trip just now. That was not great for my camera, but you know, I'm not known to be the most stellar and most graceful with anything I do. So other books that I have read and don't plan to reread, and I'm not gonna go into details on these. I'm just gonna power through them because there's a lot. We have Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. We have The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. We have Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch. I actually unhauled the other 2 books of the series previously and held on to this one because it was in Greece and I love Greece, but I don't think I'll ever reread it, to be honest. City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. Then we have the Once and Future duology, which is surprising for me because it's a King Arthur retelling, but I just, again, don't see myself rereading it. Then we have the We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars duology. The Do-Over by Suzanne Park. The Matched, Crossed, and Reached by Ali Condi. Condi? I don't know if that's an L or an I. This was a super popular middle grade dystopian in the vein of Divergent and Hunger Games, but just wasn't for me. Princess for Christmas. One of the regular editions, A Reaper at the Gates, which is one of the regular in Ember in the Ashes series, if you didn't know. Dazzling Heights by Catherine McGee. Presents by Amy Cuddy. A ton of Jasmine Guillory books. I did keep While We Were Dating because that was my favorite of the series, but I am unhauling Royal Holiday, The Wedding Date, The Proposal, The Wedding Party, and Party of Two. By the Book by Julia Sonborn. Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. I Killed Zoe Spanos by Kit Frick. Believe It by Jamie Kern Lima. Everything by Nicola Yoon. Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. Awake at Dawn by Cece Hunter. There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. Havenfall by Sarah Holland. Kiss Number 8 by Colleen A.F. Venable and Ellen T. Crenshaw. The Air Affair by Heather Cox and Jessica Morgan. The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. Spell Hacker by M.K. England. The Daughter of Yees by Zhou Rizhao. Probably just butchered that. The Heart Hunter by Mickey George and B. Gagnon. American Mermaid by Julia Langbine. The Gift of Presence by Caroline Welch, Almost American Girl by Robin Ha, Crossings by Alex Landdragon, These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends, also I believe the Fairy Loot edition here, by Chloe Gong, I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston, and I believe that's all I've read and am unhauling. So that's quite a bit that I've read and I'm unhauling. Speaking of, I've got tons of stacks here behind me because I've truly just run out of space on my shelves. But these are books that are like not as close to my favorite as necessarily the others, so I'm trying to get through them quicker, and if I haven't read them by like, I'll say the end of the year, I'm probably gonna unhaul them. So these are like my, I don't know, like bottom of my TBR, I guess you could say. So next up I have books that I have not read but don't see myself reading, which is a significantly smaller pile because I do try to give books a chance. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and jump into those. So the first one is Light at the Bottom of the World. I actually did start this one, but I just could not like stay focused or stay caring for it, so I ended up DNFing this one. And then kind of in the same vein, I read The Raven Boys and I just did not care to read the rest of the series, so I'm unhauling the other two books from the series I had, which were The Raven King and Blue Lily, Lily Blue. And then this is also by Maggie. This is All the Crooked Saints. And the Scorpio Races, I'm also unhauling these. I just don't see myself picking them up. Probably hurting a lot of feelings right now, but I have over 700 books on my physical TBR that I own and haven't read, so I'm just weeding out the ones that I don't see myself getting to because I have way too many to get to in general. I also have this like trilogy. It's the Neptune Promise, the Neptune Project, and the Neptune Challenge. I don't know if these are in order. I originally picked them up because I thought they were like middle grades about Neptune, like the sea god, and come to find out they're about like dolphins. Mistakes were made, it's fine. Then I have Tears of Frost by Bree Barton. I don't know what this is about, but I don't see myself picking it up. The Hamilton Affair. We have Re-Entry, which is like a sequel, and I don't own the other books of the series, so if I'm not gonna pick them up, And then we have Tales of the Peculiar. This one is interesting because I think it's signed. Yeah, it's a signed copy, which is cool, and it's like hand signature, so that's cool. But I did read the first book of the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite. Another book I ended up DNFing slightly into it, and that's The Left-Handed Booksellers of London. So it's in this pile because I sort of started it, but not really. The 13th Tale. This reminds me almost of that Disney Channel original movie about the like boy who turns into a mermaid, you know what I'm talking about? Then we have the Little Paris Bookshop, the Bookshop of Yesterdays, Beasts Made of Night, The Best Laid Plans, The Afterword, and then unrelated, but I have just these Dollar Tree cookbooks that I'm unhauling, as well as these two like Pete the Cat little books I got in a Happy Meal when I was trying to get the If You Give a Mouse a Cookie books. So those are the books, again, significantly smaller of a stack that I'm getting rid of that I haven't read yet. And then next are my doubles. Oh my good golly gosh. I need to like reorganize so I can get to these books here. There's just not space in my little room here. The first doubles, oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna break my arm, are these From Blood and Ash, the first three of the series. I believe these are, I don't remember if these are Fairy Loot or Lumacrate, but I have both sets and I ended up choosing one set because it's a really large series and I don't know, I just don't see myself wanting multiple sets of this series. I could be, watch me be horrifically wrong and I read them and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had both sets. But you know, we're gonna let someone else enjoy them. It's fine. Then we have The Lives of Saints. I actually have two of this exact same edition. I don't know how that happened. I just came across it when I was going through my shelves, so that's how crazy it gets here. The School for Good and Evil. I actually bought the first book, read the first book, loved it, and then bought the box set. So obviously the first book comes in the box set, so I no longer need the first book. I got the Attack on Titan omnibuses, which include like the omnibuses 1 through 3, omnibus 2 is 4 through 6, so on and so forth. So I don't need the individual mangas since I have the omnibus sets now. Same thing happened with Fruits Basket. I got the special editions, so I don't need the individuals anymore. And then I got the special edition Lore Olympus, so I don't need the paperback edition since I have the special edition Barnes & Noble hardbacks. I somehow had 2 editions of Paper Girls Volume 1. I thought maybe one of them was a different volume, but they both were volume 1, so I don't need 2 of those. And then this is just a different edition of a book that I already owned and didn't realize I already owned, so there is that. I ended up getting the Fairy Loot editions of Legendborn and Bloodmarked, so I'm gonna unhaul the Owl Crate version. I have the other books in the series of Thorn. I'm still going back and forth on this one, I'm gonna be honest. I might hang on to this one just until I read Thorn because this is a gorgeous edition. I still want to read Thorn. A Deal with the Elf King. This is the not damaged but the wrong sized copy of A Deal with the Elf King from Fake Rate. They released this book first and then released other books in the series, only come to find out that the other books in the series were a different height than the original book, so they substituted and like reprinted the first book at the height of the sequels, so this is the original first book that's the wrong height per se. And then here's Bone Crier's Moon. I read the series, I did enjoy it, but I did keep a different edition, the Owl Crate version. I can't keep track of what all these editions are. And last but not least, I've been collecting the Sweet Valley High entirety, between kids, twins, high, university, all the editions. These are, because I buy in bulk, or try to buy in bulk, like groupings, so these are just the doubles that I had. I already had Malibu Summer, I already had number 44, I already had number 46, I already had number, I don't know what number this is, but Crash Landing, and I already had the Carnival Ghost. So those are just my doubles of Sweet Valley. But that's my unhaul for you guys. Let me know if any of these are a tragedy and if I should definitely hang on to them. I probably won't, but I always love to hear your guys' opinions, and I have another huge unhaul probably coming in August once I read through a lot of these books here in July, so stay tuned for that, and I'll check in with you in my next video. Bye friends!